Hello and welcome back to Positively Sports Media. We had a little hiatus for the holidays and for the new year. It's been a minute. We've missed you. Hope you've missed us. But we're back in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs to look back at the year that was 2025 and to look forward at what may be in 2026 and how these playoffs are going to shake out in our humble opinions. It's exciting.
It's exciting. So as we know, playoffs.
This is where the rubber meets the road.
This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where, the good teams, go forward and the bad teams fall off. So we've got kind of an interesting match here. I feel like when we started the season, we wouldn't expect half of these teams to even be here.
Right.
And in this conversation. And to see that Mahomes isn't here, kind of a change of pace. We like it.
Mahomes.
Broncos.
Yeah,
they're here.
No Lamar Jackson. A couple of other pretty big names missing out. No Philadelphia Eagles.
Eagles.
No Detroit Lions. Kind of nuts.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
Isn't that kind of nuts?
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the best teams. I mean, feared.
Very feared. They have so many good weapons.
Yeah, Gibbs and Amon-Ra and Goff and, they were
Montgomery.
They were healthy this year. I mean, a couple of injuries, definitely Laporta in that, but
yeah.
But you would expect them to be able to persevere and be one of the best teams in the league. A lot of those teams, but it's one of those years where youth is winning out this year. You got Bo Nix, young gun. You got Drake May, C.J. Stroud, Brock Purdy, Caleb Williams. Those are those guys are all drafted in the last 5 years, I think. I think Brock Purdy's the oldest of the bunch. He's in like his 5th or 6th year.
Yeah.
It's youth winning out. And then on the AFC side, it's defense. The Broncos and the Texans. Obviously, we haven't seen the Broncos play yet in the playoffs. They'll play for the first time at home against the Bills is that Saturday or Sunday? That's Saturday. But defenses, the Texans made the Steelers look silly the other night. And yeah, so that's a big story. And then on the NFC side, Sam Darnold, who, if you are a longtime watcher of this podcast, you know that I saw this coming. I said the Seahawks would be the number 1 seed in the NFC. They are. I said the Minnesota Vikings would not make the playoffs. They didn't. That was a huge blunder, a huge mistake. You can go back and listen to our thoughts on that. I'm like Nostradamus with my crystal ball telling you what's going to happen in the future. So be not mistaken. Anyone who rode that bet with us is cashing out.
Yeah. We also took the Rams going.
We did, and the Rams were fantastic.
Yeah, and I think the 49ers kind of surprised us this year. We all know that they're a good football team, but I wasn't sure that they could make it happen and give the record that they gave, with injuries being like the most injured team. But you could tell, literally, I feel like the whole season, the whole team revolves around Christian McCaffrey. Maybe prove me wrong, but it just seems like he's just systematic. I think it's great. I think Kyle Shanahan and Christian McCaffrey have done a great job together. And Kyle Shanahan is great at just systems. And I think he's developed a great system there for 100%. A plug and play.
One thing I will say about the 49ers, that to me, the story of this season and the reason that they are here is, I don't know if it was a 5-week stretch or something like that, where Mac Jones was throwing the ball to Kendrick Bourne, and that was the entirety of the offense. Do you remember that? I mean, CMC was there, but he was quiet. Mm-hmm. It was the Mac Jones show, and Kendrick Bourne was going for like $140 and a touchdown every week. When I don't think Juwan Jennings was there. Obviously, Ayuk hasn't been there all year. That Mac Jones run, and we're going to see Mac Jones is going to be a starting quarterback for another team this time next year. Could be a Cleveland Brown, could be a Pittsburgh Steeler, he could be a Miami Dolphin. But Mac Jones is going to be the starting quarterback. He earned it. He deserves it. And maybe it's a Sam Darnold story. Maybe 2 years from now, we're talking about Mac Jones leading a team to a number 1 playoff seed. Mm-hmm. In my personal opinion, that's a little preview of what we're going to be talking about this summer as we've entered the coaching carousel. Harbaugh to the Giants. I think I can list the Dolphins, Raiders, Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Falcons, Tennessee Titans. Those are the 8 teams that still need head coaches.
The Giants, how about that, huh?
Giants, it's a perfect fit. Jackson Dart. So I've been talking to my brother, Positively Records artist Skizzy Mars, who is a New York Jets fan, but he's deeply steeped in New York sports. And we agree that that Giants move is perfect, and it's reminiscent of Sean Payton going to the Broncos, right?
Yes.
They had the core of a good defense, not really any semblance of an offense, but they had Bo Nix, and Sean Payton took a year or two to get his offense going, and just like that, they're the number 1 seed, right? I think the Giants, now, different people can look at that NFC East differently. Like, you got the Eagles, Cowboys, Washington, and the Giants. I think those are 4, like, B-plus teams. I think the Cowboys are better than people think. The Commies had a bad year this year, but Jaden will be better when he's healthy. The Eagles are not going anywhere. Too stacked of a roster. Even as bad as that offense was atrocious this year, and they were still a very good team.
Yeah, that was tough to watch some of those games.
So that'll be very interesting with the Giants, but they definitely got the bell of the ball, and I think that the next highest coach out there right now is Kevin Stefanski of the Browns, 2-time Coach of the Year, a guy who I think was sabotaged by ownership on several occasions. The Browns have some of the worst ownership in football and maybe all of pro sports. To spend all of their money on Deshaun Watson and still have like any kind of semblance of a football team is ridiculous. Kevin Stefanski is an amazing coach. He's going to go somewhere and be.
I will say, I think obviously Mike Tomlin, you gotta add him up there too.
I'm not sure he's going to coach next year. I think he might take a year off.
Take a year off.
I think that's what everyone's kind of saying. I think that he wants to move somewhere. I think he's kind of sick of living in Pennsylvania. I think he's going to move to LA and do TV for a year. I think that's what people are saying. That's what I would do if I was him. Take a year off. You've done 20 years in Pittsburgh. Take a year off. Let the family. I think it's a healthy thing to do.
Yeah.
And then next year, go to be the number 1 head coaching candidate somewhere. That really, you can kind of pick your team. He's getting paid still. He's getting paid for 2 more years in Pittsburgh. Stefanski's getting paid 2 years in Cleveland. So when you look at those numbers, not in a rush to go start a new project.
It's true.
Especially if it's not a team you're comfortable with. The Giants have a really good roster. I think that Daboll is pretty overrated as a coach.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I don't know if he'll land a head
I don't think he's a head
position.
coach next year. I think he's an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I think he's a better offensive coordinator, but I think I think he just mismanaged the season, and you could tell. I mean, some of those games,
brutal.
You were wondering what was going on.
Brutal. Okay, so head coaches, 8. There's going to be 8 new head coaches or 8 guys going to different places. It was 9 counting Harbaugh. We've got quarterbacks are going to be on the move. We know the Dolphins are going to have a new quarterback. We know that
Cardinals.
Cardinals. I was going to say Tua, Kyler Murray, Mac Jones. Those guys are all available. Maybe Russell Wilson gets one more chance somewhere at a team that needs help. In the draft, I think there's 2 consensus quarterbacks that are going to be like first rounders: Mendoza and Ty Simpson of Alabama. Beyond that, pretty weak year for quarterbacks. Kyler could be interesting.
You think Aaron Rodgers is going to go another year? I think he hinted that this was his last game last year, right?
Definitely. I think that the reason he went to Pittsburgh was to be with Mike Tomlin. I don't think he's going to be excited about going back to Pittsburgh with a different head coach. I wouldn't be. I think it's time for Pittsburgh to move on and start looking for their long-term solution. Could be Will Howard next year. who they drafted. Could be anyone. Could be go and get a Geno Smith type guy to play for, or a Russell Wilson come back to play for a couple weeks, or a Justin Fields. Anyone to then bench him in October and put in Will Howard and see. We'll see. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm going home. I think.
Yeah, pack it up.
Leave the game before the game leaves you.
Honestly, he could probably start streaming and just make a living streaming, or
go on the Pat McAfee show. Do anything. He'll be on TV and he'll be great, or he'll disappear into the mountains. And who cares? He's made more money than anyone. Had an amazing career, best passer rating of all time, best touchdown to interception ratio of all time, a legendary career. Aaron Rodgers.
Super Bowl winning.
And he went out and made the playoffs this year, dominated. Threw that pass to Calvin Austin to beat the Ravens in that game. I mean, ridiculous. Showed he still has it. Go play some golf.
Yeah.
Or come back. Either way, he's not going to lose his, he's earned a hell of a reputation and legacy. And Aaron Rodgers, legendary Hall of Fame quarterback. That was true before he even went to New York Jets, and still true now. So that's just a preview of the summer. We have all summer to talk about.
Yep.
Quarterbacks
Trades,
going,
draft.
Who's going to be where? Are the Rams going to be in the market for a quarterback?
We'll see.
We'll see. It looks like Matt still has gas in the tank, if you ask me.
Seems like he still has gas in the tank. I would be more interested in us instead of, we could get a new quarterback, but also maybe thinking about the future and thinking, why don't we just get some good offensive linemen? I know we have some, but to just keep stacking that offensive line and really building it around Matthew Stafford, that gives him another 2 years.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Or we go out and get we get like a Joe Burrow. We trade away. We have the 2 picks. We could do it. We could do it, but that would be a big, Matt, you have to, retire. It wouldn't be.
Well, he would make it's his call to come back.
Yeah.
But if he does, I could see them making a huge splash. Trade 4 years of first round picks and get a guy. I think Burrow is going to be the most expensive trade in NFL history, but it's definitely a possibility. If I'm Joe Burrow, I'm getting the hell out of Cincinnati. You're wasting your life. You're wasting.
Yeah.
Very funny to think. One of my predictions at the beginning of the year was that the Bengals were going to fire their coach and that he was going to be the first coach fired. Now we're at the end of the season, and he's the only coach who still has his job in the AFC North.
It's
the Browns,
hilarious.
Ravens, Steelers have all fired their coaches.
I don't get how.
And if I was, I think those are 4 bad moves. I think Zack Taylor needs to be gone, and all 3 of those coaches should have stayed.
Have you seen that meme about that? About Zack Taylor, them wanting him to be gone the first week, and every other team's getting rid of their coaches except for.
It's unbelievable.
Bengals.
It's ridiculous. He won't last much longer, I hope, for Cincinnati's sake, because he kind of is as Nick Saban would say, he is Al-Qaeda. He's a football terrorist.
Yeah.
He kind of is. Okay. That's a little look back and a little look forward. I think we are going to spend all summer. This is sort of my favorite time of the year is in the summer getting to play Madden franchise mode a little bit and go, what would Tua look like in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform? Huh? Yeah. What would it take to get Joe Burrow to move? There's some guys you don't think about. Some crazy shit's going to happen. So that's very exciting to look forward to. But let's sit in the present. Let's sit in the pocket here for a minute.
All right.
Who is going to win the battle of the Broncos and the Bills taking place on Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time? Bo Nix, obviously they lost their lead running back, J.K. Dobbins, who had a remarkable year, but they've got a hell of a defense, Pat Surtain and the boys. They've got a week off Does that make them rusty or does that make them ready? Right? The Bills are a 1.5 underdogs on the road. Weather's going to be not too bad. A little bit of altitude up there at Mile High Stadium. The Bills. If this, I mean, we all, when you say Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow are not in the playoffs, you kind of go, well, then it must be Josh Allen's year, right?
That's what I was thinking. That's what I've been thinking. I'm like, he's the only people to defeat him are those ones
Right.
that you just named. So,
Now, and we talk about Josh Allen. Let me ask you this. Who was the leading running back? Who had the most rushing yards in the NFL this season?
James Cook.
James Cook.
Yeah. And
Jimbo. Underrated run game. It hasn't been Josh Allen sticking his head down and running with the ball as much this year. They've been leaning on Jimbo Cook. Who's the number one receiver for the Bills? Khalil Shakir. Who's number two? I think it's a tight end. I think it's Kincaid. And I think the number 3 receiver on the Buffalo Bills is Dawson Knox. And number 4 is James Cook. I don't think you have another wide receiver until Keon Coleman is like the 5th highest. And let's come over here to... sorry, let's break it down here. Let's look really quick at what the Bills have looked like. I was looking at this the other day, and it is striking when you see.
yeah, so we get Shakir, and then next up is Brandon Cooks.
I was in the playoffs. We're looking
That's
at
in the playoffs, yeah.
right here. Yeah, we got Dalton Kincaid. Dawson Knox was the 3rd leading receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Keon Coleman, Josh Palmer, who's out, and then James Cook.
Dude, I wish like Josh would throw it. I don't know. I feel like he's such a good quarterback, but he also is just so lethal with his legs. And James Cook is so good as well. He doesn't really need to,
But this season, they're playing a different style of ball. They're playing like, 3,600 passing yards is amazing, but it's like they're letting the clock go. They're playing like a slower brand of football where it's just they're taking their time. I think their time of possession is probably amazing. I don't know if I'd be able to find that right now, but like they're just a team that kind of sits on you. They're like a big brother who they know that they got 30 pounds and they just kind of sit on you and
The worst.
And they let you scream. And yeah, exactly. They just choke out ball games. And that's how I see this one going. Now, the Broncos are a tough team to pass the ball against. I would imagine that they have a pretty good run defense.
yeah, you know what really comes to me when thinking about this game is I feel like the Bills are just so good offensively, and the defense just plays, right on par with that. I think that the defense is good, but not great. I think that they keep them in the game, but they don't, win the game for them. Versus the Broncos, I think that defense wins them the game, and then if they're complementary, the offense will help out as well. I think the Bills have a lot of high-scoring games, though, right? I mean, I feel like every time I turned on the Bills game, it's always, really high.
Yeah, this looks like they have the 7th best defense in terms of yards per game, keeping teams under 300 yards per game. The Broncos have the 2nd best in that regard. Passing yards per game. Where are they? Bronquitos. Oh, there they are. Yeah, 187 passing yards a game. 2nd best. I mean, they really are. The Broncos are an elite defense, along with the Houston Texans and Seattle Seahawks. No surprise that those teams are in the playoffs. Jags, number 1 rushing defense. But that's an interesting stat. The Jags came into the playoffs with the number 1 rushing defense, and the Buffalo Bills were able to move the ball against them and choke out a game. That was a close game. And they weren't able to run the ball very well, actually. Josh Allen did carry the ball 11 times for 33 yards, but 2 touchdowns. They didn't have a run longer than 11 yards all game. They only ran the ball 26 times, and they threw it 35 times. So, wow, and Shakir had
35
12.
is still a good chunk.
That's a good chunk of passes. It feels like they beat him passing the ball. The Jags were a significantly better run defense than they were passing, although they're still very good. Yeah, they are. 218 yards per game. Wow. The fact that the Bills in the regular season average giving up 156 passing yards a game is an amazing stat.
That's what I'm saying. I specifically remember, I think it was Lamar. It was when we were talking about the Ravens versus Bills. I was like, yeah, I just think that Lamar is going to eat on throwing because the Bills and same with Drake May. I think he did the same against the Bills. I think that they
have the best pass defense in the league. So, okay.
They have the best, really.
They do. Better than the Browns. And the Browns are amazing. It's an interesting game.
Really?
I know. I
guess.
Not something you would think of. But they do. They play the Jets twice a year, and they play the Dolphins twice a year, so that probably inflates those stats a little bit. I think the Bills are going to win this game. I think that we're going to see. It really depends on what Bo Nix shows up. Does Bo Nix have a game like Caleb had the other night, where he can pull the rabbit out of the hat, where he can, Caleb Williams put up with so much pressure, being down 14 the whole game. He just never gave up. What Bo Nix are we going to see if the Bills get out early? And they're not that's not how the Bills play usually. They don't jump on teams. If anything, they sometimes fall back. The Bills are a second half team this year. Their second half stats are ridiculous. They average 5 points in the first half and 30 points in the second half. So I think that's a big question is who's going to start the game with their foot on the gas. If it starts out slow, if it's 3-0 after the first quarter, if it's 10-7 at halftime, either direction, I think the Bills are in great position. Broncos need to come out ripping and get up 10 points early.
Yeah, I don't think it would be crazy to see. But, didn't Bo Nix do that this season where he came back like 2 touchdowns down in the last 5 minutes and
I think they did. But I don't think you want that. I don't think he's meant. If
for
you're
that.
the Bills, you're fine with that.
That's more of Josh Allen's game and Mahomes and those kinds of guys.
So it's going to be a good. We're at this point now. There's
all right.
Full discretion. I don't bet on playoff games. I never have, never will, because it's just too much. They're two good teams at the best of their games with amazing head coaches.
True.
So, McDermott's an amazing defensive head coach. Sean Payton's an amazing offensive head coach. I don't bet on these games ever.
Who's going to win?
Bills are going to win.
Bills are going to win. You've heard it here.
Bills are going to win because they're going to run the ball more effectively. They're going to have better time of possession. I think that if it's on 4th and 1, I trust the Bills more than the Broncos. Who knows if that's wise or not? The thing I say again and again is I am thankful we get to see amazing two. These are fantastic teams going to play a great game.
Yeah, this is the meat of the meal right here.
But so I wouldn't bet on the game straight up, but I would do some prize picks, prop betting type stuff, and I would just ride Bills rushing yards.
James Cook,
he's going to score.
Allen. I would the Josh Allen rush or passing touchdowns too.
Jack him up.
That's
fair to
say. I think they're going to utilize Kincaid. I wouldn't.
And here's one I would do. Here, this is my sneaky. Is Bo Nix is going to throw an interception.
You think so?
I think so. I think that this is his first playoff game.
How many interceptions has Bo Nix thrown?
Not a lot. Bohemian Nix. We'll get it going right here.
I feel like I'm just awful at looking up this kind of stuff.
11 interceptions actually this season.
Oh, yeah, he's due. He's ready.
25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions is not great.
Not great.
Let's see if we can get that. So that's a good one to know. Who seasonal leaders this season in interceptions? Who threw a lot of picks this year? I'm guessing
Stafford
Gino.
didn't. Matt's thrown a lot. I don't know. Sam Darnold threw 4.
Wow.
And
Tua threw 15. Darnold threw 14. Herbert, Lawrence, McCarthy, Nix. I think that's all you need to know right there.
who's at the bottom of that?
Josh Allen did throw 10,
30.
only one less. Oh, sorry. Here we go.
But I feel like a lot of these quarterbacks, I will say, played half the season. Most of the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like half of them.
Down here was 17 games played. Cam Ward only threw 7. That's not bad, but he wasn't throwing the ball a ton.
No.
Chris Olave threw 1. Cooper
He
Kupp
also,
threw 1.
how many touchdowns did Cam Ward throw?
Cam Ward
Not a
had
lot.
a pretty successful season altogether. 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. 15 touchdowns is definitely the bottom for starting quarterbacks.
Tough.
But he played 17 games, won 3.
Who else had 15?
15 touchdowns. We're in there with Jackson Dart, Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco played not even half the games.
13 games started, 10 games played. He played a lot of games.
Okay, 10, yeah.
Mac Jones threw 13. Interesting. These are good numbers to know. Now, Matt Stafford had a historic year with 46 touchdowns. It's pretty ridiculous.
That is crazy.
12 more touchdowns than Jared Goff in second place is pretty ridiculous.
MVP. If you can't say it,
It feels like when I see that number there, knowing he's the first team All-Pro QB, feels like
the completion,
he's probably the MVP. He threw 15 more touchdowns than
the
Drake May.
attempts for Goff and Stafford. They're right there, 388 to 390.
Yeah, he completed fewer passes than Goff. That's pretty absurd. He threw 100 more passes than Drake May. Wow, that's pretty absurd. I feel like it's a clear 1-2. Stafford's my MVP and Drake May is number 2. Caleb Williams, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions is not bad. Not bad at all.
Not as good as 46 touchdowns and 8.
And so maybe that Matt Stafford conversation will lead us into
our next game.
So
we're going Bills, huh?
I'm going Bills.
You're going Bills.
You can feel free to disagree.
I mean, I just don't I want Josh Allen to
I
do
want
it.
Josh Allen to
That's
make it.
that's the reason, but the fact that he hasn't is another reason why I'm a little nervous. I'm like, does he just choke on the main stage? Or?
Well, he gets to the conference championship game and then he gets beat by Pat Mahomes in overtime. Is usually what happens.
His kryptonite.
That's his kryptonite. Now, just remember this is an important thing. The Bills will not play a home game, no matter what. If they win this game, regardless if the Patriots or Texans win, that winner of the Pats-Texans game will be the home team.
Yeah.
Bills are traveling. Obviously, playing in New England is pretty similar to playing in Buffalo, weather-wise, climate-wise, travel-wise. Texans are going to be indoor with nice weather. Let's look at the Patriots-Texans game. I think the Patriots are pretty steep favorites. I think that Drake May is reminding people of Josh Allen. That run he had last week that put the nail in the coffin of the Chargers reminded everyone of Josh Allen. He's a big physical boy. He's got Ramondre Stevenson, maybe the most underrated running back in football. Travion Henderson, who's quick as lightning. Some really underrated receivers with Booty and Stephon Diggs and Hunter Henry. And Ramondre is maybe the best receiving back outside of Christian McCaffrey in football. Texans have a stifling defense. Christian Kirk.
That Texans game looked crazy. That defense was just lighting.
They're so confident.
Yeah, that was
the way that you
impressive.
beat down a confident defense is by running the ball. We'll see screen passes to Ramondre. It's a big Ramondre Stevenson game. I think that's the key to beating these Texans would be getting the ball in your power back, some good scheming. We'll see how good Mike Vrabel is as a coach. That's really what it is. It's coaching. We know that D'Amico Ryans is a real deal. We know that the Texans have actually been here before.
It could be snowing.
Not in Houston. Oh, wait, it's not in Houston.
So
it's in.
there
Oh, there it
Chance of
is.
snow. We'll see.
Chance of snow.
But even at that, I think
That's huge.
Patriots
CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans are not used to playing in the snow.
and the defense will be downgraded
Yeah, it's
on
interesting.
both sides.
That game is on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. I think that the Patriots are probably pretty big favorites.
Yeah, they have to be.
Quick check over at Draft. I'm not giving them a sponsor, actually.
Yeah.
I think the Patriots are going to win. I would love to see, I said this in the group chat, I'd love to see a pair of divisional matchups, not to get ahead of ourselves. We have a divisional matchup already on the NFC side with the Seahawks and the 49ers, but I'd love to see the Bills and Patriots duke it out for the third time this season. I love divisional matchups in the playoffs. I'm going Bills, Patriots in New England.
Oh, I
Next
like it. I agree.
There we go. Okay, Patriots are 3-point favorites. Less than I would have thought. I would have had them maybe at 4.5.
Yeah.
Only a field goal over the Texans. I think the Texans' offense is just. I've been a kind of a Woody Marks hater from a fantasy perspective all season. And I love Nick Chubb, but I don't know if that's going to be electric enough. I think that too much pressure on C.J. Stroud. He's going to throw some picks. Patriots' defense is very, very, very good.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's my picks. Bills, Patriots in the AFC. All good?
All good. I 100% agree. I think
I'm not betting on this.
Bills, Patriots. I think
I'm betting on Bo Nix interception and C.J. Stroud interception. And Jimbo Cook rushing over.
I'm a lot more confident in the Patriots than
In the Bills.
the Bills.
Fair. And the line shows that. 1.5 points. Broncos favorite. Pats 3-point favorites. Over here in Seattle is an insane line. 7-point favorites. The Seattle Seahawks are at home, where the weather is going to be 45 degrees, just 2 miles an hour wind. It's as cool. It's a perfect day in the Pacific Northwest.
Perfect day.
Now, it is Seattle, and so it's probably going to rain. It just does. It just comes
But
out of nowhere, even
it's
when they
not
say
too
it's
far
not
away
going to.
from, Northern California.
No, it's similar. It's similar. Brock Purdy, been there, done that. Christian McCaffrey, maybe the best player in the world. This team has faced so much adversity. They're not going to have Fred Warner. Defense is a little beat up for sure. Seahawks have a great run game with that combo, Charbonnet and Kenny Walker. They've got Jackson Smith and Jigba. They've got Cooper Kupp. They've got Sam Darnold, who spent a little time in San Francisco. This is an interesting game. I don't think the Seahawks should be 7-point favorites, but I do think they should be maybe 3.5. That's where I like them.
I'm just going to go against, as much as I want to, I don't want the 49ers or the Seahawks to win this game. I want to go on record saying that. But
Right.
if one were to win the game, which they have to, I think it's going to be the 49ers.
Okay.
I think
I don't hate that.
Sam Darnold in big moments.
He does. He's
Chokes.
blown it. He's totally.
He's kind of reminds me of a few quarterbacks out there that just they choke in the big moments.
100%.
He
hasn't
Dak Prescott
until he does
type
it.
of-
Until he does it, then we've never seen him do it.
Yeah, it's similar to like Jared Goff. Like I feel like I see similarities where he's good, he's consistent, and he has these great games. And yeah, I mean,
Regular season, it's one thing to do it in October, November. It's another thing to do it in January. And
Yeah.
he's never done it. And he does have the ghost of failures in the past. I mean, they were the same 15-win team last season in Minnesota with Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason and every reason to be a Super Bowl team. And he blew it. He played terribly.
I will say his defense can carry him a little bit more, and same thing with the running backs. I think Kenny Walker and Zach Charbonnet, they do a great job getting down the field, having the breakaway. Yeah, I think
They're
that
amazing.
it's good, but I think the 49ers are also so well-rounded. Also, George Kittle, out. No more George Kittle. So that does make me kind of reevaluate it, but I think they got so used to the Tongs.
Yeah, Tongs is great.
They're just going to roll with him.
Yeah, and is Kendrick Bourne still play? I mean, I feel like he had the month of his life. I haven't seen much of him since. He's healthy. He's active. Boy, I'd love to see a big game from Mr. Bourne, who had 0 catches, 0 targets last week.
It's Jennings.
Yeah, Juwan Jennings, who's a very good player, who took a long time. You know, one of those things. Sometimes missing some weeks early in the season, you're healthier. You've got really a leg ahead of everyone else. I don't think it's going to matter. I think this Seahawks defense, I think everything that happens in Seattle, I lived up there for a little bit, and it's like no one talks about them.
Sleepless
In Seattle. Like, just the country just forgets that we're up there, you know? And you can be doing the greatest things. No one's going to talk about it. No one cares.
Yeah.
And that's a great mentality for a team to have. It's great to feel slept on. It's built-in motivation every week, you know? Mm-hmm. They've played like 3 nationally televised games all season. And now it's like, hey, everyone's watching you finally. I love it. I'm all in. Seahawks will win this game. But either way, it's going to be a good one.
Yep.
Last but not least, obviously. Now, this is one of those things, right? It's a quirk of the NFL seeding and playoffs that if you win the division, you get a top 4 spot. Right, the Panthers were the number 4 seed, and you can be a better team in a better division and be a 5th seed and be on the road. The Rams won more games this year than the Bears did, I think. Am I wrong?
For sure.
I'm
pretty sure they did.
Pretty sure they did. 13-5 versus 12-6. Right? You got a team that was more successful that has to travel to play in the cold in Chicago, against a team that really got their asses kicked for 50 minutes against the Packers and then pulled it out because that's what they do. These Bears are the new cardiac kids. Right when you think they're dead, they like the Thriller music video, you know? They're just fucking...
Thriller.
You just can't kill them. You just can't kill them.
You just can't.
But Matt Stafford, MVP. Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, that defense with Poona Ford, right? With Jared Verse, Sean McVay.
Quentin Lake is back, and also want to say Kevin Dotson, he's back. I think that was the biggest issue was the line. I think Kevin Dotson taking that time away, you could see how we couldn't hold it together, and the rushing wasn't there, because we didn't have the leader. And I think Kevin Dotson really just pieces that together. So, yeah, I think we're going to be looking sharp.
Right. You know, I love Muhammad Ali, right? Muhammad Ali, at the end of his career, he'd kind of rope a dope, right? He would say, I'm going to take the first 8 rounds. I'm just going to be in the corner, and I'm going to get punched. And I'm going to let the other guy punch himself out, and then in the 10th round, I'm going to knock him out. That's kind of been the Bears this year, right? They're like, we can get beat up, we can take the punches, and then when they're not expecting it, I'm going to hit them with a right hook, and we're going to win these games that we have no business winning. You can't do that forever, right? You take so many punches. I think that they're used to falling behind early in games and letting the other team implode. And Jordan Love, who I love, Jordan Love, but he does not have a clutch bone in his body. Matt Stafford is not Jordan Love. No. Those games, young quarterbacks collapse like that and give Caleb a chance. Matt Stafford's not going to do that. If they get up 2 touchdowns, it's just over. They're 4.5-point favorites. I think that's a good number. I think that the Rams are just They're like Aaron Rodgers towards the end in Green Bay, when you just have a veteran quarterback with a great head coach with a great defense. It's kind of unstoppable until you reach another team like that, which will be the Seahawks next week. I don't know. I think that this is the Rams are in a really, really great shot.
Yeah, I think definitely going with the Rams here. Obviously, as we know, I'm a big Rams fan. But yeah, I think that the Bears, I don't think weather should be too big of an issue. I think Kyron knows now not to fumble the ball, and same with
I hope
Corum.
so.
I think that if they figure that out and can play 4 solid quarters, I think we're good.
All right, so we've got the Rams moving on to play. I think the Seahawks, you're hoping it's the Niners. I understand that from a Rams fan perspective. I'd want to play the Niners too. But I think it'll be the Seahawks. We've got the Bills. So we're very confident about the Rams. I think I'm very confident about the Patriots. The two games that are number 1 seed against number 6 seed somehow are a little more questionable. I think the Seahawks are pretty strong favorites. That Broncos-Bills game, as evidenced by the line, it's the closest line. It's going to be the closest game. Boy, that starts us out. Isn't that wild?
That is crazy.
That's our hors d'oeuvre. That's our appetizer.
Let's
little
go.
Teaser. That's cocktail hour for the week of football. It's going to be so good. Just thrilled that we get to watch. These are maybe not the 8 best teams in the league, but probably the 8 most deserving teams. Mm-hmm. Right? Glad that the Eagles aren't there. Glad the Chiefs aren't there.
Glad, yeah. The Chiefs, the Eagles. I mean, Ravens would have been cool to see.
And
Lamar Jackson still hasn't made it to the bowl yet.
Yeah, and I would love to see that. And I don't even cheer against Joe Burrow that much, although I think the Bengals are kind of a poverty franchise that's going to have a hard. I think they lost their window a little bit. We'll see. They still have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. They have, but their defense is so bad. And if you look at these teams, there's not a bad defense on this list of teams in the playoffs. So that's like a wake-up call to the NFL. You can be as sexy as you want on offense. If you can't stop the other team from winning, from beating you, I think I saw a score on here. The Bears beat the Bengals 47-42. I mean, if you're losing games, when you score 42 points and you lose a football game, probably should fire your head coach and start looking at other directions.
Yeah, Bears don't have a great defense, but they get it done. I mean, you could see literally most of these points are 4 points away at least.
Yeah, in the Bears. Yeah, the Bears are a bend and don't break team.
Yeah,
and that's how they stay in games long enough to wear you out and to come back. I think the magic runs out this week, but hey, we're looking forward to it.
Yep.
And we'll be watching right beside all of you, and we'll be back next week.
Yeah, drop a comment. Let us know what you think. Who's going to win?
Please.
Who's going to be in the conference finals, and
who's your MVP?
In the Super Bowl.
Who's your Super Bowl? Drop some knowledge about what coaches should go where, what quarterback should go where. We're gonna lose our voice talking about where Kyler Murray, Tua, Mendoza, all these guys should go, what directions teams should go in. It's going to be great.
Yep. We'll see. We'll see you guys next time, but stay tuned, and we have some good football to watch.
Peace out.